Good morning, everyone present here. Let me introduce myself to you. My name is E. Avina Choprigod and I am from CSM. Today, I'm going to talk about test for two proportions problem from the subject probability and statistics. Let's give a small introduction for our problem. Introduction to hypothesis, testing for proportions. In statistics, hypothesis testing is a method used to make decisions or inferences about the population parameters based on sample data. When comparing two groups like men and women, we often want to know if the difference in their responses is statistically significant or just due to random chance. In this case, we compare the proportion of men and women in favor of the proposal using a two proportion test, which helps us to determine whether the observed difference in sample proportions reflects a real difference in the population. Now let us take a look at our given problem. Random samples of 400 men and 600 women were asked whether they would like to have a flyover near their residence. In here, we are given with 400 men and 600 women, and they are asked to have whether they are interested in having a flyover near their residence. And in this one, we are getting 200 men and 325 women as favor in our proposal. Test the hypothesis that the proportions of men and women in favor of the proposals are same at 5% level. Now we are going to solve this. Now let us take a look at of our first step. State the hypothesis. Null hypothesis. If P1 and P2, which means proportion of men and women are in favor, we get the null hypothesis. And if P1 is not equals to P2, which is proportions are different, to which concludes the two-tailed test, which is also known as alternative hypothesis. In the next step, we are going to solve P by performing some operations. P equals to x1 plus x2 by n1 plus n2. Here we know that x1 equals to 200, x2 equals to 325, n1 equals to 400, and n2 equals to 600 from the question. If we solve this problem, we get P equals to 0.525. In the next step, we are going to calculate standard error. The formula of the standard error given equals to root of P into 1 minus P into 1 by n1 plus 1 by n2. Here we have calculated our P in the previous steps, which is equals to 0.525, and 1 minus P is equals to 0.475. From the problem, we get n1 equals to 400 and n2 equals to 600. If we calculate the above solution, we get approximately 0.03223. And the next step is test statistic, which is referred by Z. Z equals to S1 P1 minus P2 by SC. SC, also known as standard error from the previous step, equals to 0.5 minus 0.5417 by 0.03223, which after calculation we get approximately minus 1.294. And the next step is decision rule. At 5% significant level, critical Z values for two-tailed test are plus or minus 1.96. Since mod of Z is equals to 1.294, which is less than 1.96, we fail to reject H0. Therefore, for the conclusion, at 5% level of significance, there is no significant difference between the proportions of men and women in favor of proposal. Hence, we conclude that both genders are equally in favor statistically. Thus, our given problem is solved. And thank you everyone for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Have a nice day ahead.